Alrighty, good afternoon, everyone. Softman25 here, going to be hosting the next couple of runs. Where coming up here is going to be Link to the Past, as displayed on the layout. Now, definitely not in the 6 anymore, although that was fantastic. Australian Speedrun Marathon here, coming into the home stretch, last few hours of the marathon. Link to the Past is up now, which is going to be 100% no major glitches. Up next is a very hot race between Mikami and Trip of OOT Ganondorf source requirement. Finale's coming up after that, which is going to be Donkey Kong Country by the one and only legendary Nay _. Can't beat a lineup like that, so stick around for the next few hours. We are, of course, raising money for Beyond Blue right now, having raised just over $11,000 reached as of the end of Super Mario World, which is fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone. We do have a donation incentive at present, which is the file name, which is just going to be ending now. Not going to be taking anything further for that. And it looks like T301 has won that one. So the last donation incentive is going to be the file name for the OOT character. I'll pop the incentive spreadsheet in the description, but currently at the moment I'll just read the top two for each. Mikami's file name is looking like it's going to be Mitch at $100.20, followed by Poog, that's P-O-O-G, at $27.03, with Trip's file name being Nick at $100.20, with the second place being Zelda at $53.65. Plenty of time to get those donations in there. So yeah, with that aside, just quickly pop that incentives spreadsheet into the chat. With that aside, I'll throw it over to a random NPC who it appears on the Hararo we had to escape the underscores, because on Hararo underscores count as italics, and it looks like the escapes, the / escapes, have gotten into the layouts. I'll fix that in a sec. Because you are apparently some / random NPC.
Alright.
So, some / random NPC. I'll kick it over to you now. Ready to go.
Alright, so in regards to the file name, the Japanese 1.0 cart doesn't actually have numbers, so I'm gonna have to improvise with the numbers a bit. So it's T3, 3, 2, and I think I can use a I for the 1. So yeah, don't exactly have numbers, but we can make do with what looks alike. Anyway, alright. So, when you're ready, I'll count us in on go. So,
yeah, count us in whenever.
3, 2, 1, go. Alright. So, this is Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, 100% no major glitches. 100% is defined by the item menu. Basically, we want to get the highest level of every item, and that excludes all the bomb upgrades and arrow upgrades, because no one wants to go rupee farming for hours. No major glitches is basically utilizing minor glitches, but not major glitches. Major glitches being glitches which basically break the game. So that would be like the exploration glitch, where you're going pretty much under the map. YBA, which also does some crazy shenanigans, which, as per Zelda games, bottles do some weird things. But yeah, otherwise, as we get to the minor glitches, I'll explain some of them as we get along. Not much going on at the start here. Basically, playing it through fairly normally, going through rescuing the princess, and I've messed that up already. So we ignore most chests early on just to get a lantern to spawn, be able to get the lantern down in Zelda's chest. Because you can either get it in your uncle's hut, or a couple of other locations, I forget which. We also ignored the blue boomerang there. As far as I know, it changes the location of the red boomerang later, I think. But because the red boomerang overwrites the blue boomerang, we don't need the blue boomerang at all. Get rid of him, because... And we've got the ball and chain guard.
So, like, as you said, what do you call it? Like, early games played pretty casually, as it were. What, like, once you start to get out of the castle, what are the routing considerations for 100%? Because obviously you got to get everything eventually.
Pretty much the early part of the game. Most of Light World is played fairly normally. It's pretty predefined in the route that you need to go. The Eastern Palace down to the Desert Palace and then up to the Tower of Hera. That's pretty predefined in the route that the game wants you to go. And as there's no way to get to Tower of Hera before you can before you complete Desert. And there's is there yeah, and there's no way to get into the Desert Palace without defeating Eastern Palace first either. So Light World is played fairly vanilla. Again, we've got our minor glitches to speed that up a little. But then once we get into the Dark World, that changes the order of which the dungeons are meant to be completed. Save quits allowed? Saving quits aren't allowed in categories. Alright, you don't need to push that pedestal all the way to the end. As soon as the doors open, you can just walk straight through. Alright. Alright, we get to listen to the heartbeat or rest of escape. I forgot to mention, you'll see me walking a bit jagged like this around the start here. When you're walking up or left, Link's speed kind of is faster walking up or left than it is right or down. And by mashing when you're going up, mashing left or right when you're going up, it resets Link's speed. Okay. Alright, so we've got Zelda safely off to the Sanctuary, and we can go on our merry way. Save the princess. And alright. So just a leisurely walk over to Eastern now. Ignore everyone as we go. Except for these Octoroks, they always get away. And sneak under that guard without him seeing us at all. Alright, Easton. Easton's a fairly straightforward dungeon, quite linear in the way you need to go. So we'll head over here. So in this next room, walking this specific way, we can spawn 2 of the skeletons. One spawns in the wall and the other spawns on the pot, so we can get away with just killing 2 of them and the other 2 just never spawn. Okay. Now, for the big key room, we damage boost against that Popo there, and then pick up the pot and hit the button. What you have to do generally is kill every enemy in the room, but that's slow, so...
I'm guessing it's not that hard to learn all the dark rooms because I know you just went through one. Like the ones we've only got a light.
Yeah, they're not hard to learn. With the lantern, you can see pretty much everything in the room. There are torches around that you can use to light the room up further. So...
yeah, I guess that'd certainly help.
yeah. And this is the first boss, Amos. What we just did there was a quick kill on him. When the last when there's one Amos left, it turns red and it refills its HP. Basically, you can, if you've already had put 2 hits on it, if you can get the 3rd arrow into it before it changes to its red state, you can kill it before it changes. And that's our first dungeon down and the green pendant acquired. Now we get to walk to Slash here, and and we can finally go fast. So here we get the boots, and the boots makes us go fast. We break into his back room here, steal some rupees and some bombs. So when I say we go fast, this is the first minor glitch of the game, spin speed. It allows us to move at dashing speed, with the offset of not being able to swing our sword. And it resets at the once you screen transition. We do it by holding down our sword, and then what's it, a frame for releasing it. We switch over to the dash button. And that allows us to activate spin speed.
So someone in chat actually asked a very good question. How much does the category differ from any percent no major glitches?
I mean, besides getting all the items and all the heart pieces, there is a couple of different routing choices, and a couple of glitches that aren't used. I'll get to the glitches later on, but in terms of the routing wise, I think two dungeons are done in a different order. So we do Swamp Palace and Misery Mire in different orders. Basically, it's just mainly to do with the items we can get at the time. But otherwise, there really isn't too much difference between 100% and any percent. So, into desert now. Again, pretty simple dungeon. Generally just like to spam the book on that screen. So here, out to go grab our power mitts. A bonked. Pick up more arrows there for the boss later on. Our power mitts. Alright, another spin speed here. I did not get it. Fine, just dash down. Get our first heart piece. And into the back room of Desert. So, in this room, we can dash straight through the door. Normally you'd bonk off the doors if you try to dash into them. In Link to the Past, collisions detected every so often, so every so many frames, or pixels. If you move directly from the door or rub off of an item in the room, you'll be on that exact pixel you need to be to dash straight through a door. Okay, now we're up to Landmola. Landmola is my worst and most hated boss in the entire game. Where it pops out is RNG. And its movement is also RNG, and I really don't like him. So each Lammo takes 4 arrows. I shot that all far too late. 4 arrows, or 12? 4 arrows, 16. So 4 arrows each, and otherwise it's what, 32 slashes, I think? Because there we go. No, not 32 slashes. Hang on. Aren't math. Two slashes is equivalent to 1 arrow. I don't remember what the math is behind that. Anyway, but that's Lamola. It's a boss I incredibly don't like. World record? I don't actually know what world record is. I've never really paid attention to it. But yeah, this isn't...
Actually, I just quickly had a look. It's 141.
141, okay.
Yeah, 141.18 by Zelda, set about 9 months ago. It's in 100% not in MG. But yeah, no, this is also just to also respond to chat. Yeah, this is a vanilla. It's not a randomizer run, no.
Yeah, not rando. I don't think I've done a rando for quite some time. That wasn't... So, this is another minor glitch here, fake flippers. By jumping into the water and then on the very next frame, frame transitioning, you can trick the game into thinking that you have the flippers. Because you enter into the next screen in the water, the game thinks you have flippers since you entered the screen in the water. The downside is that if you do get hit while in the water without the flippers, the game will softlock. And that is basically run over if you do that, which is why that Kappa spawning was not good when I missed the warp. Alright, so we just need to take this old man through these caves because he's lost in a dark cave for some reason. And and as thanks he'll give us this lovely mirror. Alright, and Death Mountain. The bottom of Death Mountain there's not great. You've got all these dead rocks running around, and then cabbages flying down from the sky. Each do a heart of damage. And in regular any percent would be annoying, but because it's 100%, you just pick up the heart piece there and we refill, since that gets us the full heart container. And now we're in Hera. That Moldorm was very nice, it stayed completely out of my way. Alright, so by standing on top of the pegs there, we've basically got invulnerability, and now we just need to wait the tiles out, so... Softy, if there's any donations, this would probably be a really good time, since we're just waiting for this to run out.
Yeah, no, nothing at the moment, but as said, we've raised just over $11,000 for charity, Beyond Blue specifically, which is fantastic. Would just like to do the general plug that we are the Australian Speedrun Marathon. We are raising money for Beyond Blue, as said, a fantastic charity devoted to raising awareness and reducing stigma in relation to mental health issues. We've been raising money for Beyond Blue in July every year since 2016, and assuming they'll keep having us, we definitely intend to keep doing it. Just as a note, we do have one more donation incentive coming up for the second to last run, which is coming up next, Ocarina of Time. Following up Link to the Past. That's for file names. It's currently hotly contested at the moment, so definitely get those donations in. But yeah, for the moment, I'll kick it back to you.
Okay. So to get this big chest here, you can basically just do a bomb jump over that gap. And grab the Moon Pearl. Normally what you'd need to do is come up to this floor, hit that star switch, and a hole will appear for you to fall down. But that's slow, so let's just bomb jump over it instead. Now we've got Moldorm, a pretty recurring boss in the Zelda franchise. Hit its tail a few times, gets pretty mad, and then he can knock you off. Every time he does knock you off, health resets and you waste a bunch of time. One good thing about Moldorm though is that if you're on the edge, and you've got your sword out, you can hold the opposite direction and he won't knock you off. There we go. So you can basically just stay on platform. Alright. With those 3 pendants, we can go grab the Master Sword now. So we're gonna take a quick detour first and enter this cave. Grab this heart piece. And go out the same way we came in, because that's faster than falling down that hole there. Okay. Let's buffer a couple of times there, so we stop right outside the doorway. So going back to the before when we were talking about the differences between any percent and 100%, we picked up the rupees in the back of Slashar's hut. Normally in an any percent run, what we'll do is manipulate the tree pools to give us 20 rupees, to drop 20 rupees, and we'll do that here in the forest. But because we needed the bombs to get the art piece back in the desert cave, it's much faster just to grab the 100 rupees from the back of Lashar's house than get the forest. It also is a bit easier because we need to fall into the hole here. God. We need to fall into the hole here to grab a heart piece. Alright, on our way to the castle. So, the message that popped up after we got the came out of the Sacred Grove was that Zelda's been kidnapped again. So we need to try and go rescue her again. And that means going back into Hyrule Castle and back to the top. Well, not back to the top, but this time to the top, instead of the bottom. All the guards over without dinner bell here. Got a dark section of the castle. That's really annoying. And that's what I mean by bonking into a door. Yeah. Arrow. Okay. Alright, so coming up is the Agna fight. This can be annoying in that every what? So Agna does 5 attacks. Every fifth attack he'll do a lightning bolt. The first attack will be a power ball, but attacks 2 through 4 can be either a power ball or a blue ball. So let's see how lucky we are and how many blue balls we get. That's 1. And so the maximum blue balls you can get in a run is 15. It takes 6 power balls to kill Agnan. Two blue balls.
I think that's 3 actually.
3?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 3. I mean, a world record had 1 from what I saw, but it's actually something that's tracked on the leaderboard, which I find quite amusing.
Yeah, because the amount of blue balls you get is quite because it's all RNG on how many blue balls you get. It does waste quite a bit of time. If you get 1 or 2, you can save a cycle of Agnem doing a lightning bolt. So it's roughly about 5 to 10 seconds that you'd save each cycle. So you'd only want. So obviously you want 0 blue balls, but odds of that happening is low. So 1 or 2 is quite nice, though 3 is the average. And we did get 3 there, so you're right there. But that's perfectly average. I bonked again.
Well, I mean, with the max being 15, I guess 3 is not too bad if it's the average.
Yeah, I don't know how many times 15 has happened. I've never had it before. But I know it has happened to a few runners before, in their runs, and it's not fun. So, with Agnem defeated, we're now transported into the Dark World. Got Kiki the monkey here. He's quite the money. Well, he likes money. He takes 110 rupees to get into Palace of Darkness here. 10 to get Kiki to follow you, and then 100 for him to jump up and press that button there. So that's why we go into Slashar's back room and grab those.
While we're starting up this dungeon, any chance for a donation quickly?
Oh.
Alrighty, Aggie's donated $24.56, saying I'd like to give a huge thanks to all the ASM staff and crew for organising an incredible event. Thank you, it's been a very good team effort. I'm very happy with how everything's turned out. It has been thanks to the team effort for everyone. And as always, split this donation between the Mitch and Nick OOT file names already done. Thank you for that donation.
Okay. Plus this hole. Grab myself a big key. Alright, so coming up is something the community likes to call Hammer Yump. In the upcoming room, we've got a bridge, and next to the bridge is the big chest, which contains the hammer. Now, this is a double pixel precise brick, and I've messed it up already, so I need to fall down and go back in. What we need to do is place a bomb on a specific pixel, and then stand a few pixels above it. So there. Anything else and you'll fall into the pit instead of getting boosted to the chest area. I bonked again. Alright, so that wasn't too bad. Messed up once, but didn't take two get it done. Alright, so up here we can refill back to hearts. Having full hearts here is really useful. Because once we get down into the basement, we'll need full hearts to speed up the process a little. Change to hammer, and we can use the sword beams to hit that switch instead of having to go back into our menu and switch back to the bow and arrow. We'll start room. And now we're on to our next boss, Helmasaur. It takes 17 hits to the mask to break his mask. And I'm just waiting here to see which type of attack he'll do. So Helmasaur has two attacks. He can either swing his tail around like that, or he can shoot fireballs. If he's shooting a fireball as you're breaking and then you break his mask, the fireballs will disappear, which is why I waited just before the 17th hit to see what attack Helmasaur was doing. But with that, that's the first dungeon, well, first Dark World dungeon complete. Our first crystal, and now we've got a nice little cutscene. So anything to add at all there, Softy?
And beyond the fact this run seems to be going very, very well, I'll just quickly re-shout out that we're the Australian Speedrun Marathon, raising money for Beyond Blue, fantastic charity, as I always say, that we've been raising money for since 2016. which is promoting awareness and reducing the stigma in regards to mental health issues. Incentives, actually, the Nightbot got the timer perfectly timed. Just post up the incentive spreadsheet there. Have a look at that. We've only got one incentive left, and that's for the file name for OOT. So yeah, have a look at that. Get those donations in. We can, we've last year we raised $7,000 at about that at both our main events. We've almost doubled that this year, which is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, keep those donations in. Home stretch now, but looking forward to the rest of the runs.
Okay. So, just before what I did, going through those hammer pegs was something called item dash. By pressing the item button and the dash button on the same frame, you can use the item at the same time as dashing. So in use of the hammer, you can pretty much dash through the pegs, and you'll see me doing that again a little bit later. But now we're just picking up a couple of things here. So right here we're picking up the shovel, and with the shovel we're about to get the flute. Now, normally when you get the flute, you're meant to listen to the Flute Boy's little song for the rest of the time, but if we pick the flute up in the Mirror Warp, we just go straight back to Dark World and skip that. Another heart piece here. Alright, now we're up to what is probably the reason why no one really likes to run 100% at all. What we're up to now is the digging game. This is 100% RNG on when the heart piece will appear. So you can get it on your first try digging, on your first digging game, you can get it on your 10th try digging game. Or it could take longer than that. Each game is about a 40 to 50 second time loss. So if you think equivalent to OOT's Dampe Graveyard, this is very similar to it. I was going to say if I did get first try digging game or chess game, I'll donate $100 for each of them, but digging game seems out of the question already. So we get to count along on how many digging games it's going to take to get the heart piece. Okay, so that's...
Yeah, someone actually chat asked, what I was thinking of asking was, is there like a generally average that you or the community have noticed?
Not really. Personally, I've had runs that have had, I've had a couple that's had first try, I've had a couple that's 7th try, I've had some go over 10. There's really no average to it, I've found. It's purely random as to how many it takes. And that's the same with the chess game later on. Sometimes you can get it first try. For me, third try chess game seems to be pretty often, but then I'll seem to get a few runs in a row where I'll get 20 tries in chess game, or something weirdly high like that. Yeah, this is definitely the reason why no one likes running this game at all. We mentioned randomizers earlier in the run. The randomizer got rid of the randomness of this, which is why it's not a pain in randomizers. They made it so that you'd have to dig at least a certain amount of as long as you dug a certain amount, it would be guaranteed to item would be guaranteed to be there. But that's not the case in vanilla.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I've never done Link to the Past, but I did a bit of OT randomizer just for fun, But I did really enjoy the fact there were so many bits like Darnpei digging, where I was going to be like, oh, what if hookshot's on Darnpei digging and I just can't be bothered, I don't want to go grinding for rupees for 8 years, and I was really pleased when I was informed. Oh yeah, no, that's not a factor, just do it, and you just get it, it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one of the quality of life improvements in randomizer. The fact that simple grinding tasks like this have just been taken out. Because this is mundane, and no one likes digging a hole for several minutes waiting for the item to appear. Also, did anyone keep count on how many digging games I've gone through already? I've lost count.
Yeah, I've lost count. I think we're up to like 5 or 6.
Right.
Hey!
Alright, so that's part 1 of RNG madness. 100%. We've got a bit more item collecting to do at the moment, but then we'll go straight into part 2. Which, as I said, the chess game. Chess game's a bit more forgiving in that it's much easier to do than digging a hole for however long. But it's still tedious in that you're just waiting to get the item. But for the moment, we're just going to grab a few items. We'll grab the bottle from the back of the bar. And grab the bug net from the sick kid. So the good thing with digging game is that we did make money off of it. So that's at least a positive. Is as long as you don't lose money in the digging game, everything should be fine. But when you do get it on first try, rupees can sometimes eventually be a little bit of a mess. Because at this point, we need to get up to 700 rupees.
So I guess that's sort of the digging game consolation prizes. You might be there for 8 years, but you get some rupees.
Yeah. It's the same with the chess game. You can get a few items in there. One of them is a singular green rupee. The other one is a 50 rupees or 100. I went to the wrong place. Okay. That's fine. So yeah, we need 700 rupees because we need to spend 100 rupees here to get another bottle. We'll need to spend 500 later to get the flippers, and then another 100 later on to buy the big bomb. And then any 100 after that is just bonus to, in case I mess up a trick later on with the big bomb. So, given that I'm at 331 at the moment, everything should be good because I'll pick up a 300 rupee chest after Thieves Town. But any further rupees from that would still be pretty beneficial just in case I mess up. Alright, so that's it for collecting at the moment, so we'll make our way back over to Dark World again. And make our way into the chess game. So I tried to go for another item dash there with the hammer, but I didn't get it. Hammering the air. No worry. Saved a couple, about a second or so. Meant to slash that bush, not hammer it. So chess game, 30 rupees each time. Either get a bomb, rupee, some arrows, or the heart piece. $100 nice, 150. But we want the heart piece. Bomb, 50 rupees. Heart piece. Okay. So I think that was the third try. So,
I think that was third try, yeah. I think you said earlier, yeah, 3 seems to be a...
yeah, 3 seems to be quite the average for me for the chess game at all. I don't know if it's the average across the community, but for me it seems to be normal for third try. I think I had a run just on Friday where I think I had 18 chess games before I got the rupee. Before I got the heart piece.
At least you'd never have to pick up a rupee again.
Yeah, I was at max rupee count there, so I skipped the 300 rupee chest that I mentioned before. But yeah, now that the chess game is over and RNG is the main RNG component of this game is over, we can get back to dungeon crawling and enter in Thieves Town here. So run there. Now there is a specific pixel which you can dash through all the way from the bottom to the top in that room. I don't get it often, but sometimes I do. Otherwise, that room is generally pretty evil, in that you've got those Patrick stars running around, the fire snake zooming around as well. along with spikes while you're on top of a conveyor belt. It's a very annoying route to navigate. Good thing is we only need to go through it once. Because in this next bit here, we just need to up through. We'll make our way down the basement. This guy here, it's in my want. I also want that heart. I took far too many. Rescue this person here. Grab that berry. Partially for safety, but also because I need a ferry. So hopefully I can just save the ferry. And do we need it? We can pick up our upgraded mitts there. So if you do try to leave with this girl here, she'll tell you that she doesn't want to leave. And look, it's blind. Why did I do that? Okay. Normally this fight is on a script. If you do it the same every time, it will be the same. I, for some reason, decided not to do that. But that was still relatively quick. So, yeah. At least I didn't die. That's one thing or another. So now we've got another crystal cutscene. So, any donations?
Not just at the moment. I think people are still. I think everyone's still just basking in the $11,111.11 situation right now.
Nice.
It's I mean, it's something to bask in. It's a fantastic amount. As much as I'd love to say something like, you know, let's keep it at 11.11 because, you know, that'd be quite good. Raising a bit more money for Beyond Blue would be pretty neat. I know I'll be shipping in a few more bucks before the event's over, certainly. Because Beyond Blue is a fantastic charity. As said before, raising awareness, reducing stigma regarding mental health issues aren't too many causes better than that. Obviously not to, you know, rank or anything like that, but, you know, good cause. We love supporting them. Supported them for a good few years. Do so in the future. Back to the run.
We've got our little froggy friend. Go hit some eggs with him. Can trail along. Heart piece, and now we can return this froggy home. Froggy was a blacksmith. Alright, so we'll leave our sword with him for a bit. Go do a couple of other things. Grab this chest. Go back to Light World. Down this pit. with the chest. Interesting. Normally you aren't able to dash with that chest. As soon as you press the A button, you'll drop it off. But I guess if you press the dash button fast enough, you can dash with that chest going out once you fall down. But what we just did there was we used the magic powder on that magic bowl. Some bat got really angry at us and decided to, as punishment, would double our magic. Okay, so we've got our upgraded sword here now, and get this locksmith to open the chest. Get another bottle. Ow. Okay. That all complete, we can go to our next dungeon in Skull Woods. Ignore that main entrance. Come behind this one. Still pretty quick, so get the big key there, mirror out. Come into here. Do another bomb jump. Now, if I had better health, I would just fall down that hole. Look effect. Okay, that was a timely fail. So yeah. If you're in better health there, you can just fall down that hole there, and then you can just turn right coming out of the entrance to Skullwoods. Because there's that, the enemy that jumps one of these. It generally appears, jumps right into your path, but, coming out of the dungeon, if you've fallen down that hole, you have iframes, so ignore him. So with back up, okay. Too bad. Generally, I don't want to have sword beams in that room. What we can do is hit that mummy against the spike twice and it'll die for us pretty quickly. And then we've got Mothula, which is always praised for great level design. Fighting a moth on a conveyor belt in a room full of spikes, where the spikes don't do any damage to the moth. So if you hit Mothula into the spikes, it cancels out your damage and does no damage to it. which is why it's always a great fight. That one wasn't too bad. I've definitely had worse.
Quick, certainly.
Yeah, I've definitely had worse. Mothula's always great when he gets stuck in like one of the top corners, and then you've got the spikes kind of boxing him in. So whenever he does move around, he bounces into the spikes and then returns into the top corner. It's always fun when he's stuck up there, because you can't really damage him at all.
While we're just loading in, I've got a quick donation here from Casabro, donated $21.62, who said, and quite rightly I would say, breaking the perfect $11,111 was anguish. I hope you're happy. We are, because that's more money for Beyond Blue, that fantastic cause we've been referencing, so thank you very much for that donation.
Back into the Dark World. Quick trip through here. I wasn't meant to throw. Because that hits you if you do. Right, so I'm going to come up here, throw this rock in that circle, and trigger the catfish. Will give us the Quake Medallion. Now we can mirror straight into Zora's domain. Where we will get our flippers for lovely low price, 500 rupees. Take a quick pit stop, grab this art piece, and then we can make our way out of here. That Kappa is right in out. And what we want to do is take this warp. It drops us right outside of Ice Palace, which is our next destination.
So what's your general opinion of the Ice Palace? Because I've only played the game like once, a very long time ago, and pretty sure me and all my friends came to the consensus we do not like the Ice Palace.
No one likes the Ice Palace. The good thing with this is that we get to skip pretty much most of it. Wow. So with a convenient bomb jump, named the Ice Palace Bomb Jump, we basically skip over everything in this dungeon. Normally, you'd have to do this giant loop around the place, that up quite bad. Normally you have to do a loop around the place and hit a few switches, which lets you loop back around the place. And it's annoying to do. But hit that switch there so that we can't get through. Then we can bomb jump in this room. So yeah, we do a bomb jump there, and that lets us skip basically the entire dungeon. There was a different glitch that was found, which would save us from having to do the Ice Palace bomb jump, but the community decided not to allow that into No Major Glitches. It's called Icebreaker. Basically, you end up clipping yourself through a barrier. 5 hearts should be fine. And you still basically just skip everything in the dungeon. So you may have noticed that I did not go to the big chest at all. The big chest of this dungeon is the blue armor. As I said at the start of the run, 100%. Okay, that was. Alright. Okay. I'll have to get another ferry afterwards. But yeah, as I was saying, at the start of the run, I said that 100% is defined by getting the maximum item of each item. Given that we're going to get the red armor later, we don't really need to pick up the blue armor. So, in that case, we can skip the big key and the big chest, and then just go straight to Cold Stare there, which I messed up quite badly. Normally, after you get rid of the ice, you'd want to do a spin slash and get him into the corner, and then get a couple of quick easy hits on him, and you'd be over pretty quickly, but it's alright. Fine, I can just go to the cave here and grab another fairy for what I need. So we're going back to Death Mountain now, because up next is Misery Maya. Falling cabbages! Up next is Misery Maya, and to get into Misery Maya we need the Ether Medallion. but we're going to go stop off in lovely cave. So this is why I needed a ferry, because Spike Cave pretty much just drains through your entire health. After I pick up the blue cane, then getting out of the cave, we can spin speed to the blue cane, and which makes us invincible to death. Just escape from the cave there.
Someone in chat just asked a good question actually, and I'm guessing the answer is it does nothing. But what happens if you grab the blue armor after you grab the red armor?
Honestly, I don't actually know. I would assume it does nothing. But yeah, honestly, I don't actually know. Because I've never tried it.
Because yeah, that'd be interesting if it decided that
If it just decided
well,
to
you picked it
override
up.
it. Yeah. Given programming back when this was programmed, I wouldn't be surprised if it just overrid the red armor with the blue armor. But, yeah, programmers can be smart at times. Alright, so we enter the fire shed here just to get another heart piece and bring us back to full health after Light Cave, so we can enter here. Now we get to enter Maya, which is quite the big dungeon, but if you know your way around here, you don't need to visit everywhere in this dungeon. Just want to come up here and grab a key, and we our way. So another minor glitch that got patched out in Legends is that you can just shoot stuff through blocks while they're moving. As long as you're pushing them, you can use an item at the same time and it will just go straight through it. So you can do it with fire rod, ice rod. You can do it with the hook shot as well. So while you're pushing a block there, you can hook shot through it and get the item that's behind it. What else could technically use a boom? You'd only be able to go. Wait, I never really tried it with a boom. Normally you only do it with a hook shot or a fire rod. That fire bar does not normally go right. Sometimes it does. Okay, so earlier when I said that a couple of minor glitches was used differently, so in Maya, what we'll do is we'll do a glitch called Spooky Action Glitch. It's set up prior to coming into Maya, but what happens is that we can use the fire rod to basically hit invisible switches or hit switches in a position where they shouldn't be. So in this room we wouldn't have to run around and hit that switch. In this room we wouldn't have to bomb the wall and hit the switch in this room. We'd just be able to use the fire rod and hit a target which would switch differently. Not fair. Arrow? I do not have enough arrows. So Victress is a pile of eyeballs. Get rid of the smaller eyeballs and the larger one will shoot some lightning. Shoot it with some arrows and he eventually dies. Now we're back to a crystal cutscene, so...
Perfect timing. We do have a donation from Nick Murdoch, who donated $54.06, who said, "I'd like to put this money towards the Zelda file name for Legend of Zelda OOT race. Hope this money helps out." It certainly does, thank you.
One more thing to do in the Maya area here. Let's pick up one more heart piece. So one more thing you can do while pushing blocks is that if you use the mirror, you can make the blocks disappear. So you can only do it in non-dungeon settings. You do it in a dungeon, it will send you to the start of the dungeon. But if you do it in a non-dungeon section, just a regular cave, it makes the block disappear. Right. Ash. Right, now we're getting the... What's it? I forget what this one's called. We don't actually... Bombos, that's the one. That's the Bombos medallion. We don't use it at all. But since it's 100%, we have to get it. Okay. Time for Swamp Palace. That block, we need to release the dam. Fun fact, while you're pulling that there, you can start up your dash and dashing once you're finished cutscene. Is lined up quite nicely. So normally in a vanilla playthrough, Swamp Palace is the second dungeon. In the number order that the game intends you to do this. Dark Palace is number 1, Swamp Palace is number 2. In terms of the crystal. Except in NMG runs, in 100% we're doing this second to last? 6th. So the reason why we do this second to last is that it puts us closer to all the items that we need to grab afterwards. So after this dungeon, I'll be heading right again. Where the Lake of Hylia would usually be, in the Dark World though. So because I'm at Swamp Palace, it's just easier for me to just go right instead of having to flute back to an area and then having to go to Dark World after that. If you go into that area first, I don't think you can do it in vanilla at all, but in randomizers, if you pick up a key early and go into that room, you can flood the key. And you can't... I don't know if they've changed it, but you have to... When I remember doing randos, you'd have to leave the dungeon before that room resets. So by hook dashing into that pot at the bottom, Link, when he was pushing that statue, kind of looked a little bit weird. But what it allows us to do is pick up the pot on its first go. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you'll find yourself just standing at that pot. Because we push the statue over it, you'll stand at the pot and then just grab the statue over and over again until the game decides to pick up the pot for you. The skull, actually. By the water.
So while we're just pottering along, What do you think the hardest bit of the run is overall? Because I mean, obviously, without major glitches, you got to do a lot of things to see somewhat intended.
Hardest thing. I guess for me, the hardest thing is still getting a good Lamola fight. And that's in any run really. In regular any percent energy or 100%. Because it's so early in the game and the easiest way to kill it is with arrows, it's very skill based. But you also need to have luck with it. Get Lamolas spawning in the right areas and moving the right way. Other than that, there are probably Ice Palace Bomb Jump is probably the hardest thing to constantly get right.
Yeah, because I mean, Link to the Past has definitely always been a staple, as it were, in the speedrunning community. It's something that really is quite input intensive.
Go away. You can get to a right location there, and you would mirror in on the patch of grass there. You'd pick up the heart piece, and then you'd immediately walk back World. I don't really remember exactly what the right location is for that quick walk, but it doesn't matter, it doesn't waste too much time. And visit our friend under the bridge here for our last bottle. And now we can get the big bomb. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna leave the bomb there, dash up here. Mirror. Once this hits 0, I should be able to get the bomb into the light world where you're not meant to have it, and take it through the castle wall. And that takes us straight to the pyramid. So normally what you have to do is walk around, go back across the bridge and walk it around. But doing that, you can just quickly take it up through to the castle. This lets us get to the Fat Fairy, who will give us 2 items. Silver arrows and the golden sword. Let's chuck it into her pond and tell her, yes, I threw it in. And we can leave. So what I've been doing there, instead of spin dashing, I've been doing hook dashes. which is basically the same as basically the same thing, but we're using item dashing with the hook shot instead of using using a spin slash. And let's kill that ghost, because otherwise he generally hits me. One more heart piece. Got 2 more hearts to go. Bonk. Another bonk.
While we're just doing a bit of travelling, I'll just quickly give out the general shout out that we're the Australian Speedrun Marathon. The event's been running since 2016. Sorry, 2015. Since 2016 we've been raising money for Beyond Blue. This year we've decided to run an online marathon. Been running for a few days, about 4 days. Bring you a lot of content. It's been a great event. Tail end now. And looking forward to the final stretch. As said, raising money for Beyond Blue. We've raised over $11,000 this year so far for them, a fantastic organisation. Raising awareness and reducing stigma in regards to mental health issues. If you would like to donate, a link was just put into the chat. We do have one final donation incentive, which is in the spreadsheet, which I'll just pop into chat now, which relates to the OOT file names. If you do want to follow us online, Nightbot's timer has been perfectly timed. There are some socials there, there's Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and YouTube. They'll be all equally fantastic places to keep in touch with our events as they go forward.
Making out Battle Rock now. The last dungeon. Means one more trip through Death Mountain. I did not mean to hook. It's fine. Those 2 deck rocks were quite nice. These 3 pegs you need to hit in specific order, otherwise the game will give you a nice buzzing noise. And with these pedestals, so this one along with the Master Sword pedestal back in the forest, you don't need to actually climb them up the entire way to activate them. You can stand on the stairs or quite close to the instead of riding that all the way around, got one of the torches. Let's head into this room. friend the blue cane, and Pokey has the key for. So those chain chomps do 4 hearts of damage. They are one of the highest damaging enemies in this game. And no one knows why. Just... there's only the 2 of them in the game. They're in Turtle Rock. And they do tons of damage to you. Annie-Fair's on the chase. Just to be safe, I'm out of berries there. Grab some help. This next room's really annoying. You've got 2 of these pokies, along with this thing in the middle of the room shooting a fireball at you. Here are back. Light world and enter in cave. That gets us up here. Get a mirror shield here. Ah, I know. I missed something. That wasn't good. I just remembered that I missed something. Back. I forgot to come down here and get the ice rod. So after I got the heart piece at the lumberjack's house, I was meant to come down here and grab this, but I forgot. We need the ice rod, 1 for 100% completion, but also to kill the boss of Turtle Rock Trinex. Cabbages. Oh, I did not want to. Cabbages. Flying cabbages. Anyway, so now it's just going to be a little bit backtracking. Get back to Turtle Rock now. Right. Using my mistake, we can get back to Battle Rock quickly, our way back to where we're going. Good thing is we don't need to do it again. Our way through jumps. Another 5 arrows. We have to do them again. Alright. Bowling pin. So hitting that switch again just saves a bit of time later. Got the Dark Maze. Dark Maze of Lines.
And I guess this room's a perfect example of sort of what I was saying earlier with these dark rooms, like needing to learn them well being important, because like yeah, you can see a decent amount, but it'll be easy enough if you don't know where you're going, you just take a wrong turn.
Yeah, in that room in particular, you really only need to press 3 directions.
Easy to remember then.
Yeah, bonk. Okay, you want to go down. You want to press down first to get to the line that takes you to the switch. After that, you want to press right. So that you're going right afterwards, then down. You have to press 4 buttons, sorry, 4 directions. Then you want to hit left at the end there. That you turn left at the end. Alright, Trinix. With the golden sword, it's easy enough. Fire rod, ice rod, shot to the head, and then 3 slashes. And then two spin slashes and a regular slash to kill this phase 2 part. And that is Trinix down.
So home stretch of the run now, it seems.
Yep. Just down to Ganon's Tower and Ganon himself. just before we get back there. Got one more heart piece to pick up. And that puts us at full hearts with only one more item to pick up. That's in Ganon's Tower itself. Seven crystals. Finally lower the stairs. Bonk into that door. Grab the key. That key. Bring that down and put it here. That room is actually easier with the blue boomerang, but given that we have to have the red boomerang, and we don't pick up the blue boomerang, we need to slightly do. North left path. You can bonk yourself into that wall and skip over having to go through these two warps. I was a bit too far down, so past the wall. Got it. Alright, and you remember that first boss of the game? Well, here he is again, this time on ice. That easy enough. So the silver arrows, I didn't explain it before, but the silver arrows kills enemies in makes that fight a lot easier than the any % route, which has to do the regular strats. Okay, and that's our last item, the red mail. By grabbing onto the wall there and then just use the directional arrows, I can those two mimics. I'm surprised I stayed on that. Alright, now we're up to the gauntlet. Just a series of rooms lead up to the top.
And now that we're here and we've got the red tunic, yeah, we want to go all the way back and find out if picking up the blue does something, yeah?
We can go check that out afterwards if we have a bit of time.
Well, I'll have to check the time, because now we're all curious. I don't know how long it'll take, but hang on. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure we've got that much time.
So, following on from the main bosses, got our friend Mola again. This time with a annoying fireball shooter in the corner. But 2 spin slashes or 2 fire shots, even if it is still find Mola's spots. And now we've got our friend Oldorm again. Yep, this time on a more awkward platform. Bonk. And to sum off all the Light World bosses, we've got Aghanim again. This time, to make it harder, there's 3 of him. The 2 clones will always fire off Powerball shots. Okay, 1, 2, 3, not too bad. And now it's just Aghanim. Not Aghanim, Ganon. So Ganon leaves Aghanim's body behind. Bursts through the pyramid. Somehow our friend from the Light World, the duck, managed to get to the Dark World and loot us over.
It's a hell of a duck.
So Ganon's fight is really simple with the golden sword, unless he does that to you and warps around everywhere. And on arrows, 4 arrows in the last stage, and he's down. So if we're ready on time. Time. Alright. Well, that was Link to the Past 100%. Link has saved the day. Alright. So, GG. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much for that run. It was excellent. Good time was had by all, I'm sure. Coming up next is going to be Ocarina of Time. It's going to be a race in Ganondorf Source Requirement, which they'll probably explain a little bit better than I can, certainly. And as I said, that'll be a race coming up shortly between Kamiura and Trip AU. So thank you very much for that. Anything you want to say before we cut to intermission?
No. Enjoy the race. Donate some more to Beyond Blue, and enjoy the last couple of runs in ASM 2020.
Perfect. Alright, we'll see you soon for that OOT race.